All right, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday morning deep stretch. So excited to stretch with you all today. This is Katie. Just a reminder to listen to your bodies today. Do what feels good. Don't push what feels bad. And if you need any sort of modification, alteration to the stretch or the movement that we are doing, please just let me know and we will work through it. Let's go ahead and find our space to get started with our warm up, increasing our body temperature. We'll get to our mats or our space that we're using, and we're just going to make some nice big arm circles to start. So standing in a neutral standing position, feet under hips, toes forward. I'm going to have you raise your arms up to the ceiling, reach them out in front of you, down to the floor, and behind you. Just making that big circle, making sure the space around us is clear. We're taking these arm circles nice and slow. Just making them as big as we can. If you'd like to add a little pace of your mat, just kind of walking as you make those arm circles, feel free. So making those arm circles nice and big. And let's go ahead and reverse the direction of our arm circles, taking them backwards now, reversing the movement. And if you did add the little walking pace, you can kind of walk on your heels, walk on your toes. Just finding a new way to move today. And on your next breath, you can go ahead and pause those arm circles, let your arms fall down by your sides, shake out your shoulders if you need to. We're going to do some hamstring scoops next. So from our neutral standing position, feet under hips, toes forward, I'm going to have you step your right foot out in front of you, just about a normal step's width away. Heel into the floor, toes up to the sky. And you're going to take your hands and just gently trace down your leg towards your foot until you feel that nice stretch. You'll raise yourself back up to standing, step the right foot back, left foot out, and repeat on the left leg, left side. We'll just alternate there, hamstring scoops, right and left side. Once again, just being gentle with these, taking them slow. And this is a good dynamic movement to warm up the posterior chain muscles. Make sure we're starting to get our breathing involved as well. We're taking those exhales as we reach down our leg. Inhale as you stand up tall. And go ahead and finish your rep, and then we'll come back to neutral standing position. We're going to do some nice slow glute kicks. So I'm going to place my hands on my hips or on an exterior support source. We're just going to kick right heel towards right glutes, bending at the knee, placing that foot back down, and repeat on the left side, left heel towards left glutes. And just alternate there, left and right legs. Nice and slow. Now we're kind of warming up, stretching the quads, activating the hamstrings. Good, so slow glute kicks. You can start to speed them up just a little bit if you'd like. And let's go ahead and pause those glute kicks, bring both feet back down to the floor. We'll do a couple of our pelvic tilts. So for this one, we'll stay in that standing position, feet under hips. Place your hands on your hips, and we're just going to kind of rock the pelvis forward and backwards. I'm going to push my pelvis towards the wall in front of me, and I'm going to tilt it to the wall behind me. So just kind of feeling how your pelvis can tilt anteriorly and posteriorly Kind of using the hands to manipulate the pelvis. Feeling how the low back pulls it, how the abdominals can pull it, the hamstrings and glutes, everything around it. Let's go ahead and pause those tilts. We'll come back to the center and we're going to stir the pot. So keeping the hands on the hips, but now we're just going to take the hips, keeping the feet planted where they're at. We're just going to stir the hips in a nice big circle, starting clockwise or to the right. Just pushing the hips forward, out to the right side, back behind us, and to the left. If you're an avid hula hooper, it's like a slow motion hula hoop motion. Kind of waking up all the joints, feeling the knees moving, the ankles moving, the hips, of course. Let's go ahead and switch the direction, stir the pot clockwise or counterclockwise or to the left now. Once again, just kind of feeling that breath in through our nose, out through our mouths. And let's pause the pot stirs. We'll come back to the center. We'll do a few of our sun salutations before we begin our more static stretching. So we'll start in our standing position, feet under hips, toes facing forward. We're going to take a big inhale as we reach our arms out long to the sides and reaching up overhead towards the ceiling as high as we can. And we're going to exhale and forward fold, reaching the hands down towards the floor or our feet. We're going to inhale and take a half lift. So I'm going to take my hands to my shins, flatten out my back, kind of push my hips backwards. Going to exhale back into that full forward fold. Just reaching towards the floor, letting my hands, arms, neck and shoulders hang. Then I'm going to inhale, reaching myself all the way back up to that reaching standing position. I'm going to put my palms together overhead and exhale as I lower the palms in front of my face and into my chest. Let's go another round here. Inhale, arms out and up, reaching overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Flattening the back, kind of pushing the shoulders back. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, all the way out and up, palms together, and exhale, lower. All right, last one here. We'll take that big inhale. Reaching. Exhale, forward fold. Just let everything hang and relax. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And big inhale, reaching out and overhead. Palms together, exhale, and lower them. Beautiful. Well, we're going to stay standing here, but we'll get into some more, a little bit more dynamic stretching, but more static as well. So we'll get into that. Grab a drink of water if you need. We're going to start by taking a nice wide standing position. So go ahead and step your feet outside of your hips, maybe 1 to 2 steps each. Then you're going to point your toes slightly outward. So nice, wide, balanced stance. If you need an external support source, a chair, table, something nearby, please keep that nearby. Let's take a slight bend in our knees. We're going to do some of those Cossack rock stretches. So slight bend in the knees, lowering the hips. And I'm just going to have you shift your weight over into your right leg, kind of towards that right foot. Keeping the knee over the foot or over the toes. And that left leg's going to extend and stretch in the inner thigh region. Then we'll rock over into the left leg, straightening the right leg, stretching the inner thigh there. So just alternating, rocking into the right and left leg. Good. Continuing to breathe, just feeling the joints move, feeling the musculature stretch. And let's go ahead and come back to center. You can stand up tall if you'd like, kind of straighten out the knees. Keeping the feet wide, we're going to go ahead and reach our hands down towards the center of our feet, so kind of right under our hips for a nice wide standing forward fold. So make sure you take a big exhale as you reach down, remembering to keep a slight bend in your knees. Feeling a nice stretch in the back sides of our legs. Take a few breaths here. And on your next breath, you can go ahead and raise yourself back up to standing. We'll step the feet back in together under our hips. We're going to do some standing side bends and reaching. So feet are under hips, toes are forward. I'm going to have you raise your right arm up overhead from the shoulder. Left hand's going to go on your left hip. We're going to reach that right arm over our right ear and towards the left wall. And I'm going to just gently guide push my hips over to the right as I reach overhead to the left. Standing side bend and reach. And then we'll alternate here. So then I'm going to take my right hand down to my right hip, raise my left arm up overhead from the shoulder, reach it over to the right as I shift my hips to the left. Let's just repeat, alternating there, keeping it nice and slow. We're taking that big exhale as we reach. Inhale when we come back together in the center. Feeling the sides of our body stretch, and then the lower back. Don't forget about your breathing. Good, just a couple more here, a couple more breaths. And go ahead and finish the one you're on. Bring yourself back to center. You can let both arms down by your sides. Shake out your shoulders. We're going to do a little chest opener stretch. So staying in that standing position, I'm going to have you interlace your fingers behind your back. I'm going to have you pull your shoulders to the wall behind you. Kind of tilt your chest up towards the ceiling. And you can pull your arms away from your backside. Trying to open up the chest. Take a few breaths here. An option to stay here, or you can add a little cervical spine rotation by taking your nose over to the right and to the left very slowly as you hold the chest opener stretch. Remember, your pelvis or your low back might want to arch in this stretch, so try to keep your pelvis tucked. Remember to breathe. We're just opening up those chest and shoulder muscles that can get very shortened throughout the day. And let's go ahead and release that chest opener stretch. Shake out the shoulders if you'd like. We'll stay in this standing position, but I'm going to have you exhale as you lower your hands down towards the floor. You can bend the knees as well. So once our hands are firmly planted, hands and feet are both planted on the mat, I'm going to have you walk your feet back behind you for a down dog. So walking the feet back, and then we're going to push our hips up towards the ceiling, pushing our shoulders away from the palms. We might have our feet fully flat on the mat with our hips to the sky, or we might be on our toes. Option to pedal the heels if you'd like, so push one heel down flat at a time. Nice transition movement as we make our way down to the mat. And let's go ahead and drop our knees down into the mat, keeping our hands down. So now we are in a tabletop position. So my wrists, elbows, shoulders are all stacked. My hands are nice and wide on the floor. My knees are under my hips. My feet are trailing behind my knees. We're going to do some cat-cow stretching here, or pelvic tilting. So I'll have you start by taking a big inhale, arching your back, kind of pushing your chest towards the floor, taking your nose up to the ceiling. And then you're going to exhale as you round your back, push your hips forward, and take your nose to the floor. And we're just going to alternate between those two movements, cat and cow. Make sure you keep your breathing involved. You also have the option to add a gentle rock, kind of left to right in your hips if you'd like. And don't forget about the shoulders in this stretch. The shoulders are getting to kind of separate when you push away from your palms. Good. Go ahead and finish your rep. And then we'll come back to neutral center tabletop. We're going to do some thoracic rotations of the spine. So nice and gentle rotations. I'm going to have you starting from this tabletop position. Let's go ahead and raise our right hand off of the mat. And we're going to turn the chest to the right and take our right arm overhead, fingertips towards the ceiling. Then we're going to gently, leading with our fingertips, take our hand down towards the floor, and then we're going to thread it between our left elbow and left knee, reaching towards the left. And then we'll repeat, taking right arm overhead, rotating through, and reaching towards the left. So just some nice, gentle thoracic rotations. Make sure you're inhaling as you reach towards the ceiling. Exhale as you reach through to the left. Today we're going to hit rotations of all sections of our spine, the cervical, thoracic, lumbar, and sacral. Kind of working our way down the spine. Continue to take those breaths. See if as your body gets used to the movement, it's able to rotate a little bit further. But we're not forcing anything. What we have is what we got. And this is a trained movement. Doesn't come to everybody right away. Let's go ahead and pause those right rotations. We'll come back to tabletop, placing the right hand down on the mat under your shoulder. And let's switch to the left side. So we'll raise the left hand off of the mat. Reach the left hand towards the ceiling. Chest will kind of turn to the left. And then we're going to lead with the fingertips, reaching the left hand down towards the floor, and then through between the right elbow and right knee, reaching to the right, and repeat, taking the hand back to the ceiling and through. Inhale as you reach. Exhale as you go through. Just a few more breaths here. And go ahead and finish your rep. We'll bring the left hand back down to the mat. Let's walk our hands away from our knees a little bit further, preparing for a child's pose. We'll widen our knees out kind of to the sides of our mat, and we'll shift our hips back towards our heels, keeping our arms extended long out away from our hips. And sitting back into that child's pose, stretching the hips, taking a quick breath here. Kind of feeling, walking those fingertips as far away from our hips as we can, stretching the shoulders and the lat muscles or back muscles. You can let your forehead rest on the floor if you'd like, or you can just keep your ears sandwiched between your shoulders. That's up to you. And let's gently walk our fingertips over to the left side of our mat. And then we'll kind of push our right hip over to the right just to create a little more stretch there. And let's switch sides. We'll walk the fingertips over to the right side of our mat and kind of push our left hip out to the left. Taking some nice deep breaths here, feeling your body sink, kind of melt into your hips. And let's walk our fingertips back to center for just a couple more breaths. And when you're ready, you can push yourself back up to that tabletop. Then we're going to find our way to a seated position. So, seated on the mat, and we can extend our legs out in front of us. All right, once we've found this seated position, let's go ahead and bring our left knee up into our chest and give it a big hug. And just a reminder for some good posture, let's pull our shoulders back and down, kind of tuck our chin back. We're giving that left knee a hug. Option to just stay here and enjoy the stretch as is, or you can step the left foot over the right knee, hug that knee in again, and turn our chest to the left, stretching the left glutes. Just taking a few breaths here, reminding ourselves to relax, kind of feeling the body actively release as that stretch reflex kicks in after 30 seconds. And let's go ahead and step that left foot back over and let the left leg extend long again. And we'll repeat with the right leg, hugging the right knee into the chest, keeping our posture good and proud. We can stay here, or we can step the right foot over the left knee, hook the right knee into our chest with the left elbow, turn our chest gently to the right. And the right hand can settle behind the back if you want a little extra support, or it can stay just resting, hugging, holding on to the other arm. Taking those breaths. And on your next breath, go ahead and release that right leg back out long. We'll do a little forward fold to wash it out. So keeping our legs both out, extended away from us, toes to the ceiling. We'll take a big inhale, filling the lungs with air, and then we'll exhale as we reach our fingertips down our legs as far as we can towards our feet. We'll just hold that forward fold for a few breaths. Seeing if with every exhale you can maybe reach a little bit further. We're not bouncing the stretch or being ballistic. We're just holding the static stretch. Noticing if maybe the last time you did this, you weren't able to reach as far. Or the opposite, what could be kind of holding you back? Do you have any tension or soreness? And let's go ahead and inhale, rising ourselves, our torsos back up to upright seated, one vertebrae at a time. Then let's pull our feet in and place the bottoms of our feet together. Let our knees drop out to the sides for a butterfly stretch. Just kind of gently holding onto our feet. If you're not feeling a great stretch, you can pull the heels in a little closer to your pelvis. Remember to kind of roll your shoulders back. Keep your chin tucked in. Good posture in our butterfly stretch. Option to just stay here in this neutral butterfly, or we can add a little twist by taking our right hand behind our back, our left hand to the top of our right knee, and just gently twisting your chest over to the right, facing your nose to the right. Nice big breaths. And on your next breath, let's come back to center. And we will switch to the other side, taking left hand, resting it on the floor behind our backs, right hand to the top of the left knee, gently twisting our shoulders and chest and nose to the left. Good, and on your next breath, you can go ahead and come back to center. We'll take a couple more breaths here before we make our way down, all the way lying. And let's go ahead and release that butterfly. Let our legs out long again, out in front of us. And then let's gently just roll ourselves down to a lying position, one vertebrae at a time, nice and gentle. So we're kind of in that corpse position, lying completely flat, getting comfortable. I'm going to have you raise both arms, just hovering them over the floor, both palms facing down. Then I'm going to have you turn your left palm up towards the ceiling, keep your right palm facing towards the floor. And then I'm going to have you switch. So just gentle rotations of the palms, practicing some gentle internal and external rotations of the shoulders. Continuing to take some breaths, let our body get used to being on the floor. Let our shoulders maybe get used to a new movement. And let's go ahead and let those arms fall. Lie gently on the floor, both palms facing down. We're going to transition into some lying figure 4. So I'm going to have you bring both knees up towards the ceiling, both feet flat on the floor. And let's go ahead and extend our right leg straight, and we'll take the bottom of our right foot towards the ceiling. I'm going to have you take both arms and kind of interlace your fingers on the back side of that right leg and just gently pull it towards your chest or towards your face. Let's do a couple ankle circles here. Maybe 2 clockwise, 2 counterclockwise. And on your next exhale, go ahead and drop that right ankle to the top of your left thigh or left knee. Let your right knee kind of fall out to the side. Option to stay here if this feels good. Gently kind of letting your hands rest on your right leg, maybe pushing that right knee gently away from you. Or if you need a little more stretch, go ahead and interlace those fingers on the back of your left thigh and raise the left foot off of the mat. Feeling a nice stretch in the right hip. Just feeling that hip start to release after we hit that 30-second threshold. Let's go one more big breath here. And let's release that right leg, taking the right foot back flat to the mat. Right knee towards the ceiling. And let's repeat on the left side. So we will straighten or lengthen the left leg. Raise it up towards the ceiling so the bottom of my left foot is parallel to the ceiling. The backs or my hands are kind of interlaced or holding on to the back of that left leg. I'm just going to gently pull it in towards my chest or my face while keeping it as straight as possible. And let's draw those ankle circles 2 clockwise, 2 counterclockwise. And just noticing those little things about your body. Maybe it's a little harder to draw ankle circles with your left side. It is for me because I am right side dominant. And when you're ready, go ahead and let that left ankle drop to the top of the right thigh or right knee. Left knee will fall out to the side. We're just using our hands to gently guide that left knee away from our chest, opening up the left hip, or taking our hands, interlacing our fingers on the back of the right thigh and raising the right foot off of the mat. For our lying figure 4 stretch. Feeling that gentle release of the right hip. With every exhale, you're just kind of melting further into the floor. And on your next breath, go ahead and release that left leg, taking the left foot back flat to the floor, knees up to the ceiling. So once we're in this position, knees towards the ceiling, both feet are flat. Let's take both of our arms out to the sides from our shoulders. And we're going to bend at the elbow, kind of taking our fingertips up towards the top of our head. So goalpost or cactus arms lying on the floor, just to kind of open up the chest a little bit more, stretch the shoulders. If it's uncomfortable to keep it at that angle, you can take it up higher or a little lower, whatever feels good. From here, we're just going to gently drop both knees down over to the left. Kind of keeping those goalpost arms, and then we're going to turn our nose to the right. Now we've added that gentle lumbar rotation. Just breathe here, relax. And on your next inhale, go ahead and bring those knees back up to center. Bring your nose back towards the ceiling. And then we'll drop both knees down over to the right as we gently turn our nose to the left, keeping our arms out from the shoulders and those goalpost arms. Couple more breaths. On your next inhale, let's go ahead and bring the knees back to center, bringing the nose back towards the ceiling. And let's just bring both knees up, raising the feet off of the mat, knees up towards your chest, and just give them a big hug. And let's give our low back a little bit of a massage. We'll kind of rock right to left and up and down. Maybe drawing some circles. And option to stay here, just kind of continue to do those low back rollouts, or we'll transition into a happy baby stretch by taking our hands and grabbing the bottoms of our feet with our left and right hands. And then we're going to gently extend the leg and knee and take the bottoms of our feet parallel to the ceiling as we continue to hold on to them with our hands. Happy baby, great inner thigh stretch. And option to add that gentle rock left to right. And on your next breath, go ahead and release whatever stretch you are choosing to do there and let your legs out long once again. And we're going to transition into a nice kind of full body lying twist. So I'm going to have you raise your right leg up towards the ceiling and then gently drop it down over to the left side and kind of twisting until your leg or your knee can rest on the floor. And usually I'd have you turn your nose to the right, but this time I'm not going to do that. You're going to kind of stay lying on your side. We're going to take our right arm and we're just going to draw some great big circles. So kind of reaching the right arm out in front of us, taking it overhead, behind us, and down towards our feet. Just repeating there, nice, gentle, large, single arm circle, shoulder circle as we do this lower body twist. And let's go ahead and reverse the direction of that circle, taking it the other way. Being gentle with our shoulder. And let's go ahead and pause the arm circles. Let's take that right arm out from the right shoulder to the right. And now let's turn our nose to face the right fingertips. And just lie in this twist. Take some breaths. Feel your body loosen up or melt. And on your next breath, let's go ahead and roll ourselves back to center. We can extend the right leg back out long, and we'll repeat on the left side, taking left leg straight and up towards the ceiling and dropping it down over to the right, kind of twisting the hips and body until that left knee can come to the floor. We'll keep our torso kind of lying on our side, and we'll do those arm circles with the left arm. Making them nice and big from the shoulder. Or if that's a little uncomfortable, you can kind of take the fingertips towards the ceiling and do a smaller circle. And go ahead and switch the direction of those circles. And let's turn our chest back up towards the ceiling as far as it'll go. Extend the left arm out from the left shoulder and turn the nose to face the left fingertips. Continue to take those breaths. See if with every exhale, your body will release a little bit more. And on your next breath, let's go ahead and roll ourselves back to center. And we can actually continue to roll because we're going to come onto our front side or lying bellies down. And go ahead and get comfortable as we kind of lie on our stomachs here. And we'll do a nice lying quad stretch. So you can make a pillow with your left hand if you'd like. Rest your forehead on your hand. We're going to take our right heel towards our right glutes. Option to just hold here, or you can reach around with your right hand to grab your right ankle and pull it in a little closer, or option to use a yoga belt as well. Let's just hold this quad stretch. Feel if your glutes or your low back might be tense or guarding. Try to actively release those kind of tensing up muscles to allow the stretch. And let's go ahead and release that quad stretch. And we will repeat on the left side. So right leg stays long, left heel is going to kick towards the left glutes. Option to stay there or use your hand or yoga belt to get some leverage on that left ankle and pull it a little closer towards your glutes. Really a nice stretch along the front of the thigh or the quadriceps. Continue to breathe, a couple more breaths. See if you can stretch a little further with every exhale. On your next breath, go ahead and release that left leg back down. And let's extend both of our arms out, kind of overhead from our shoulders. So now we're still lying on our stomachs, but we're reaching our fingertips as far away from our feet as we can. And we're going to do some gentle wrist stretches, kind of lying here. So I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to bend kind of my wrist, fingertips up towards the ceiling. And I'm just going to grab my fingers with my left hand and gently hold them here, kind of stretching the forearm and the wrist. You can rest your head on the floor if you'd like. And you can go ahead and release those fingertips with the left hand. Let's take the right fingertips kind of down towards the floor now and push that wrist forward just gently. Kind of stretching the front side of the forearm now. And the wrist. Kind of using the floor to guide. And go ahead and release that right hand. Let it fall flat back to the floor. Reaching those fingertips away from the feet again, stretching the shoulders. And let's repeat on the left side. So taking left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Right hand will grab the fingers and just hold them, maybe gently pull them towards our head. And let's go ahead and release the left hand, let the right hand relax again. And we'll kind of take the left fingers, knuckles into the floor and push that left wrist forward. Just gently, we're not forcing anything here. If it doesn't feel good, do it a little less or just leave it out and relax. And go ahead and let that wrist relax. So now both hands are flat on the mat. You can bring them back, kind of stack one over the other and make a little pillow for your forehead. And we'll do one last little stretch of the hips here. I'm just going to have you push your left toes down and away from your hips and kind of pull your right hip up and just hold there. Kind of as we're lying flat here. It's just a very minimal movement. And let's switch by pushing the right toes down and away from our hips and pulling the left hip up towards the ribs. Some lying hip raises. You can also do these standing, but it feels really nice to do it lying. And let's go ahead and take a big breath. Place both hands on either sides of your shoulders, gently rolling yourself up to a tabletop, maybe a down dog. And last but not least, giving yourselves a pat on the back. Way to show up today. I hope you enjoyed your stretch and you have a fabulous rest of your day.